I'm Janet Abejo-Parker, and I'm the senior investigator at the Cedar Rapids Civil Rights Commission. So mainly what I do and what we do as investigators, we investigate any cases or issues of discrimination in the areas of employment. That's where most of our complaints fall under. Housing, that's the second most common area, public accommodation, education, and credit. To not only be there when those things occur, when they need to be addressed, you want to prevent them from even happening in the first place. So we do a lot of education and outreach as well. Those are really the two main big parts of our job, are investigating those complaints and issues when they come up, and then also hoping to provide that education and outreach to the community to prevent those issues from even happening in the first place, or preventing those people from even being subjected to that discrimination in the first place. Allyship to me is, I think, first and foremost, listening and learning, and then being supportive in any which way that you can. Allyship is also helping to provide support and speak up, but not over, those groups that you're in alliance with. Allyship really is important, just in that we need each other to make a difference. It's critical that we all be as supportive as we can in any which way we can to help make that really important work lighter and easier for those people that are really being impacted. I really don't think there's any one way, right? And there's so many ways that people can be an ally, and so many ways that people can get behind a cause or help a cause. I think, for example, if you are able to be there for protests and be there in person to speak up and speak out and show support, that is great. If you can't, that's okay too. There are other ways. You can show support by donations, monetary-wise, for those organizations that are helping those causes, for those groups that are underserved. And, if you're able to do that but not be there in person, that's great. Please do that. But there's also little things, if you can't donate money, don't feel bad about that. A great example is that Texas bakery, a bakery in Texas that had posted on social media about their LGBTQ Pride Month inspired heart-shaped rainbow cookies, right? They experienced a backlash on social media, and then following posting about that backlash became the busiest they had ever become, because people showed up to buy those cookies. They were selling out every day. So that story was just so heartwarming to see, because those people took it upon themselves to go to that bakery and we're going to buy your cookies and we support the LGBTQ community. That's a huge, that's certainly a great way to show allyship and show support. Also, we need to think about the big things we can do with calling our state representatives when there's an issue, encouraging others to call state representatives, letting them know how to do it. Before I started at the commission, I had never done that, and I had no idea, how do I do this? I had this very politically and civic engaged intern that worked in our office, and he kindly, gave me the resources, kind of even gave me a script as to what to say. And I think when you give people those tools, they're happy to do it, which is really cool. Voting, vote, 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 vote. I think about walking through my neighborhood. I, was newer to my neighborhood. There are not a people in my neighborhood that look like me. And I didn't have a lot of neighbors that would say hello to me, and I didn't feel welcome. And so every time I would see, people that were new to the neighborhood, or people that did look like me, or people that were, might feel like they're out of place, I made an effort to speak with them and get to know them and say hello and just do little things to make people feel more welcome and more included. I think also having difficult conversations, that if you work in a place that looks very homogenous and is struggling with hiring more diverse staff, or maybe doesn't realize how homogenous it is, to speak up about representation. That is huge in helping with those groups that feel like they don't have a voice or presence, or that people are speaking at them, not with them. You'll never fully understand, but you can try. You can try to understand what they're going through, and you can learn. You can learn and you can listen, and just try to support as best as you can, for sure. I think I'll speak to the great work that Stephanie Munson and Scriven has done with a lot of outreach events, and one particularly comes into mind that I really just was so impressed with how it was organized, with how it was executed, and there were several community partners, but it was the equity conversations, creating a community of belonging. We focused on health disparities, education disparities. I'm failing to remember the other topics, but they were really, really phenomenal conversations that they had with incredible panel members, great participation from community members asking wonderful questions about how to be an ally. Learning the history of this disparate treatment and discrimination, and how far have we come, or how not far have we come, and what more can be done. And I think it's important to know the history of it in order to move forward in a productive and smart way. So I think books like The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander and Queer Injustice, but they take the time to go through the history of the issues, and I think that that's so important. So those are really the books that I like personally. Like, it's a classic. I read it when I was really young, but The Joy Luck Club, and I was so thankful that that book came into my life at that age. So yeah, I think for these books, for people that want to be allies and learn more, but then also that representation for people who are part of those groups